All right, welcome to today's episode of the Australian Lawn and Garden Podcast. This is the big one we've all been waiting for. We have finally released the quoting side of Moqo. You can go download that on iOS or Android right now. You can go download it. You can start quoting your lawns. You can just listening to the rest of this and go do that now if you want to. Welcome. I've got the whole team. This is the whole team. We've got Phil, Wilson, and Amelin. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Hey,
Hello.
how are you?
And I want to, at the outset of this, address the rumours. Yes, technically speaking, I am a tech CEO, and yes, I have been to a Coldplay concert, but we don't have a HR department here at Moqo, so we're all good. In fact, my wife has a degree in human resources, so we're even better. And actually, for those who've been wondering, talking about, family life, this is the first podcast since we had our little baby, little Nora. She's healthy. She's doing well. If you were curious, there you go. She's 2 weeks old. That's why there was no podcast for 2 weeks. But people, I'll tell you what this is about. And then we're going to get into the team. We're going to talk about what it took to make this. It's so much harder than what you think, but it's really interesting. So we've made an app. If you've never heard about it before, there is a full podcast from March, or in March, that talks about the philosophy that we're going for, the history of it. I'm not going to go into all that. But the long and short of it is this. We have just created an app that can predict how long a lawn mowing job will take based on your inputs that you have. So you put in the square meters of the job, you put in which mower size you're using, 21, 30-inch cylinder mower sizes, and then you put in the obstacles, the sections. It's very intuitive to use, very easy. You can speed it up or slow it down compared to how fast you like to do the job, and it will predict, it should predict within a couple of minutes exactly how long the job should take. It should be an average service. Obviously, things change between cuts. You get the idea. And you put in your hourly rate stuff, and it will tell you exactly how much you should charge for that job to hit your targets with your business and the goals that you have. That is out right now. You can go download that right now. We've done so much testing. We've done so much time. In fact, I started working on this 5 years ago. But I'm going to kick it straight to you, Amelin, because you told me the other day that you have done how many, what would you call it, commits? How many times have you edited the code? Is that even, I don't even know this technical side of it, but it's a hell of a lot, way more than I expected.
Oh yeah, as of this morning, it was 1,351, and we do have so that's how many commits we have. But then for version, we now have version 1.2. That means that we already have 2 major features that we have produced.
And how many times have we updated the version in our testing? Because we've had people testing this out. If you're a tester, if at any point you've had a video call with us, you've tried the app, thank you so much. But how many times have we gone back and forth just before we even released this?
For the current version that is live, 21. The previous one we had 11. So 21
we've
plus
had
11. Yeah.
32 iterations of this app for 2 releases, 1,300 edits in some way, shape, or form to the code at some point. Is that for the non-technical people out there? That's why it takes so long to make this.
Yes, that's right.
And Phil, design-wise, so I should have introduced what you guys do. Phil's a design person. Amelin's mostly what we call the front end, what people actually interact with, the buttons you click, what you actually interact with. And Wilson, you work on the background stuff for the most part. Is that fair, Phil? Would you say it's a fair rundown of everything?
Yeah, I'd say it's a good summary. Yeah, definitely gives a bit of an idea of how we split tasks, but we do get involved across the board. Obviously, like I don't design in isolation. I want to bring Amelin, yourself, Wilson to the drawing board and really envisage stuff that is doable, not just that looks pretty, right?
Yes. And it's just a lot of what we want to say that. But I also want to say, I should have started with this before, that you guys, Phil, I'll keep this to you. You guys have worked on some massive stuff before. And we've assembled. This isn't 1,300 edits and 30 something versions because we don't know what we're doing. We're trying to really make something really good. But the experience in this team, I'm really proud of you guys. Like, it's been awesome working with you. But tell us what the stuff you've worked on in the past, because the idea I want to get across here is we haven't just assembled a bunch of people who have, I don't know, put on a resume that they've worked on something once or twice before. Like, we're a crack team, even if I can say it myself, you know?
Definitely. Yeah, well, yeah, it's for you to say, but no, definitely we've been doing software for many years. Some of us have worked together in the same businesses. For example, I've consulted with Amlin. We've done work for anyone from RSC, Bunnings, so some legit players and logos in the Australian landscape, but also um, uh, products like Moodle, a learning management system that around about 1 billion people have used around the world. I think there's over 350 million users. Every university in the world, or at least half of the world's universities use it. So that's just an example, but that's some of the products that we've participated in building for these flagship companies and product companies. So yeah, it's always an adventure. Something like this, you look at the result and you go, okay, well that's it's straightforward, but actually, how did you go from a big question mark and a big pile of mess to really a result that is intuitive, that is easy for people to navigate, and that is getting people closer to what they want to achieve.
And I gotta say, Phil, we've had so many compliments on the design, on the look. I feel like I've got a slightly above average eye for design. Like, I'm pretty good at some of my social media posts and things like that, right? And I tried to put something together that was an app in some of the really early beta versions, and it was disgusting. It wasn't nice. It wasn't good. It looked like a 3-year-old had made it, and and then you've well and truly shown me up. But how much effort? Because I mean, we can't show it here, but there is I saw it the other night. There is like a software board. Can't remember what software system it's called.
Is that Figma?
On the Figma one, and you zoom out, and there must be like 50 or plus pages that you have designed for the 6 pages we're using, or I don't know. There's so much effort that's gone into that.
Definitely, it's what we call the divergence and convergence. We want to really explore every possibility. What's the best way to go about things? But if you remember, we really started not even in Figma. We started on that whiteboard software Miro, and we're really diving into understanding you as a professional, a gardening professional, and what variations of individuals or professionals exist, and what matters to you. Or if you're a business owner, if you're an employee, maybe it's your pride and joy. It probably is, but maybe for someone you hired yesterday, they don't even know if they care yet. So they might have completely different approaches to everything, including quoting. So really tapping into that and unpacking what are the different personas, what matters to them, and then from that really diving into the journeys. So really step by step, what does a day in the life of you look like? So we did that, and we actually obviously working closely with Luke, but also with other gardeners over here in Perth, WA. We sometimes just went, oh, how do you do it? Let's get out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's grab a some sticky notes and go out in the backyard, and like, how does that work? And really getting as close as possible to the action. So that's where it starts. That's part of the crazy process. But then it's true that in the design itself, we really try and collaborate a lot. And there's a lot of diversity that needs to exist in the design process, because if it only came out of my head, it'd be very wrong. But we've got Amlin, we've got Wilson, we've got you. We've interacted with a number of of local
Contractors.
gardeners, yeah, to keep pushing it and really get some of the ideas or test our ideas as early as possible to ensure we're on the right path.
Yeah, so we always carry across what we have learned from the research phase into development, just to make sure that whenever we develop something, we really think about the people who will be using it.
I was going to say the very first meeting we had, actually, no, the second meeting at Phil's house, and you guys were like, "How do you quote?" And I was like, "Oh, well, you do, you know, you do this, you do that, you know." And you're like, "No, no, no, like, can you pretend to quote this place?" And I was like, "Okay." We literally walked outside. We're like on the street, like almost pretended. We didn't do the hand actions, but almost pretended to drive up in the ute, get out of the ute, and talk through to three of you guys following me around taking notes. And it was one of the weirdest things because, like, you've done a job before where the client's looking out the window, but I've never had three people, like, analyze how I quote a job. And it's like, it's just such a. But I actually noticed, like, I left that meeting being like, you guys really wanted to learn what it was like being in our shoes. Obviously, working in software your whole lives, gardening's about as far away from software as profession as you can get. And I left that feeling like they really are really green in, you know, this. They do not know anything about gardening. And then now it's interesting, what was it, 10 months later, maybe 8 months later or whatever, when we did a night where we tested out at Ash Smithers' house. Thank you, Ash. We got pizza. There was a bunch of people there who were testing out using the app, and I was like, you guys know the lingo now, and you actually understand it, and you've really put the effort in. So
Pro level.
yeah, you guys could. I mean, if this doesn't work out, you can just start cutting lawns with me, I guess. You know, like,
Thinking about it, yeah, definitely.
before I cut to Wilson as well, people, I'm going to remind you a million times. Don't let this not work out for us, all right? Go download it right now. It's $25 a month. The idea is you should be making a lot more than that from it. But one of the things I want to say, Wilson is the quietest of the group. He'll just sit there and think, and then eventually he'll say something. It's usually wise. But Wilson, do you have a PhD in essentially AI? Is that what's going on there?
Yeah, basically, yeah, I've been working on those areas for quite a while, specifically AI related stuff, and I think in this Moqo, more like not only features that we care, we also look into a lot of the security, the performance, and most importantly, the scalability of the app. And as yeah, it's more technical side of it. But yeah, apart from the UI, we also taking care of all these details, to make all this app happening, and maybe more of AI related stuff in the future as well. I think there are lots of things we could do afterwards.
There's heaps. We have more ideas than we have time to complete them, which is why people should, again, this is going to get forceful, but you should go download it. The more you download it, the more time we have, the more we can commit. But okay, throwing it back to Phil and Emmeline though, I sense, and I think people can sense it in your voice, that you guys are really actually excited about this too. And I think people, hopefully the idea that I've just created is that people go, oh wow, we've actually got a really cool team. Like, this is not just a bunch of, I don't know, guys I found off the internet, like I said before. This is actually a really cool team to make this. But one of the things that gets me excited is that you guys get excited. Because I don't know, you can feel a little bit blinded by your own ideas sometimes. Of course I think my idea is good. Like, I came up with the idea. And then when you guys get excited about, like, oh, this is really, really, really cool. One of you take it away. I don't know who. Let's go, Emmeline, you go first. But you feel excited about this, right? You're not just putting it on for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I love the idea, and I think I also love the team that we have. I think we have very mixed skills. We also cross-functional, and I think we all really excited about being innovative, and we always like not limited our mind into a greater possibility. That's why I'm really, really excited about what we are working on.
Oh, definitely. Well, when we started discussing about Moqo and about the project, already there were sparkles. Well, one,
Yeah.
I have to say you're a good communicator, and I've known you for a long time, many years, and I knew you were onto something good. But when you started sharing about Moqo and the vision for it, also beyond the features we're releasing currently, there's a longer term vision as well. I was like, I want in, like we want to help you, we want to be involved. We've got a team of passionate people that know what they're doing, and this deserves a good like a solid approach to actually take it forward and really plant the seed for the longer term and really build something awesome. So it's true, I can testify to the passion of the team as well. I can tell you, Ameline wakes up in the morning and she thinks about Moqo. I'm not even kidding. Like I can tell you, and she's like, and I can ping her any time of the day, and like we work on this obviously, but it's like it's not like sort of a thing on the side or something that's a bit of a chore. It's like there's really a lot of passion and thought that goes into it. Usually the conversations are like, oh, you know what I thought while I was fill the blank, getting my coffee, or driving back from school, or it was like, and it's going and throwing ideas around and really thinking about how to really create something that's awesome and really helps yeah, gardening professionals in Australia and beyond. So yeah, there's a lot of definitely a lot of passion, and I think you're right to say we've really gotten to learn and understand a lot about how things work, and yeah, it's fascinating. Absolutely love it.
Do you know, I'm super excited about this, but I'm so excited about where it's going. Like, we've just released it. You can go download it now, but some of the stuff that we have coming, it just takes time. It takes time to build. And like we said, was it 30? Hopefully we're a little quicker on some of these things now, because there's some real challenging stuff in the background. I'll get you guys to talk about like some of the Apple problems and just anyway, some nightmares we don't want to think about ever again. But we'll bring them up for the entertainment of people listening. But where this could go is so cool, because there's so much technology and it's so ripe. And I see, like, we talked about this a little bit, like being able to measure things with your phone. That's getting more capable now. Some of these phones have got LiDAR in them and stuff, and it's like that's something that, like, it'd be awesome just to take a photo of a yard or walk around a yard and have AI or something like measure it for you, or talking about the whole breadth of services. And my real passion with whatever we do with this, and this is one of the things when we first made a deal and we went to business together as a group, was like I wanted it to be like, the goal here is to help small businesses have success. And that was something that I felt passionate about. And then you guys came back with email like, we love that part. It wasn't like, oh yeah, Luke's passionate about it. Like, that's the thing that actually drives this with meaning, because you guys know it, everybody knows it. It's like, if you help a corporation make more money, it's like the shareholders get some dividends and the CEO gets his second yacht and his third Lamborghini. But if you help a small business make more money, then the dads or the mum or whoever is there at the sporting games more, and they go on a holiday, instead of at the caravan park only, maybe there's a little bit of an upgrade to a cabin. I don't know, like, that's the stuff, and that's what is exciting about this. And the testers, the feedback from some of the testers is so strong. I'm going to talk about tight ass Leon very quickly, who would never be loaned by anything else ever again. We had that test night, and I told him it was going to be like $20-something. It's $24.99, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know if I pay that." And I was like, "Yeah, that's no worries. We want different people with different opinions." And what is it? One job he quoted, and the app told him to quote $20 more than he thought he should, and so he quotes it, and then wins the job at $20 more, And what's that, $400 a year? It's more than the entire cost of one job, more than the entire cost of the app, swallowed up in one thing. So you can think about it. You do it. If he does that 10 times over, he's made $4,000. My maths is correct. $4,000 more. That's a lot of trips through the KFC drive-through. So I mean, yeah, that's what I'm getting excited. Any thoughts that you guys have? I haven't asked anyone specifically. They all just stare at each other. What do we do?
It's great. No, definitely. Well, I mean, that's what we're looking for, right? Where we don't have, in a sense, we have everything to prove. We have nothing to prove at the same time, right? The quality of the idea is there, so it's just about getting in people's hands so that they can realize, this is how I can run my business. And again, back to the initial vision, which was really to put time back in the hands of people that also have families, and there's definitely a lot of waste that goes into that. We've talked to a lot of people actually. We've also done a lot of desktop research, so really going on to, you name it, Facebook, Reddit, LinkedIn, Twitter, really trying to find some of the pain points that you might be feeling going on about your business. And there's definitely a lot around wasting time and spending focusing on the wrong thing, because things are a bit muddy, right? And so having clarity around things like this, around how much am I going to quote, is it fair, should I raise my price, or am I going to be called out on that? Is it like, what do other people charge? And really sort of understanding, I think that you're in a certain, in the right ballpark, and that really, well, things do add up in a certain way, so that I can quote a certain amount. That I think it gives confidence as well, and it sort of gives credibility in a way to go, well, yeah, that's sort of confirmed. So it's really interesting to hear that feedback, right? Some say like, oh, this one is exactly what I quoted, and this one, like you were saying, like, oh, I undersold myself here, and it's easy to do that, right? So
I
yeah,
think it was a
Go ahead.
special moment when I think the idea that we have been building actually really help people. In this case, it helps Dion. I think you mentioned before, Luke, that your vision is to give time back to uh, contractors. So by him being able to charge fairly, he hopefully can get some time back to his family. So I think that's the moment when I feel like, oh yes, that's what we are trying to achieve, and we have achieved that.
Yeah, maybe look, you could talk. Let's turn the tables here. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about the algorithm, because you were talking about the history of building the code for this app, which in itself is obviously a task. But there's, before that, there's, I think, thousands of jobs that have been quoted with your algorithm, which is in essence the engine behind Moqo, right? Do you want to
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit?
So the idea is that the job should be, the idea is that it should be quite simple, that anyone can use it, and it is, right? Like people, you'll go test that. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's simple that you can do it, but the idea of it is that over a fortnight, if you have a target of a certain hourly rate and you're putting this in, this should, if you quote the jobs with this, at the end of that fortnight, you should hit that target. And it takes out all the guesswork. And one of the things that people can do immediately, like as soon as they download the app, is go through all the jobs that you already have and put all the data in as if you're quoting them. And if you have, this is one of the things that several of the testers have done, and with the algorithm, it's like really, it was nervous. I was nervous a bit, because I was like, yes, we have tested this on 10,000 jobs, but that's still within my business, and it's I don't know, like I'm now putting it out to other people. What do they get? Is it as accurate, And one of the things that came back is a lot of people were like, I remember one person was like, oh, it was pretty good. It overestimated by 2 minutes. And I was like, oh, no, that's exactly what it should do. because you should be overestimating it a little bit just in case something goes wrong. That's what the idea is with this app. Anyway, but the idea is that it takes all that mental pressure off you. You know that it's going to be quite accurate. You know that after a fortnight, every fortnight, if you were to do your numbers, it should be averaging exactly what you want. And you get rid of all the jobs that you're currently doing that are completely underpriced. And a lot of people don't know that they're doing it, but you may be, if you measure all your jobs, you may realize that certain jobs you're earning 30, 40% less than the average. And you didn't realize because you were underquoting. So you can go right now, download the app, reprice all your jobs. And I'll be surprised. I'd love to hear it. Send us messages. How much extra you guys make just by aligning all your jobs with the target hourly rates you have. And I mean, I don't know, there's a million more ways I could talk about. Was that what you were thinking about, Phil? Is that the angle you had?
Definitely. Yeah. Thanks for that.
Well, one of the questions that people have about it is I've seen is like, how does it work? Like, how can it predict? And it's like, it's simpler than what you think it is, because it's literally just the statistics that you put in. If you go and you do a hell of a lot of it and you just measure and measure and measure and measure, you can find that there's a predictable way that things happen. And you might go, well, I'm a little bit slower or a little bit faster than most people. And it won't quote the same for everybody, because you can adjust the speed and you can adjust how the algorithm works to suit how you run your business. And you may find that there's a certain job every now and then where it's a little bit off and maybe there's a process change or there's something like that. But what we've done with that is you can put in extra minutes. So if there's, say you have things that are completely not mowing related, like a large flight of steps, and it can predict how long the mowing is going to take, but you've got to get your mower up and down a large flight of stairs. And so you go, well, how can it predict that? Well, you can just modify it yourself. You can, in that one, okay, I'm going to put in extra time. I've got to lock up a dock. Okay, it's going to take me 2 minutes. Yeah, I've got to do that. Or every time I come to this person's house, they really like to talk. I don't know, put that in your quote, extra 5 minutes talking time. So it should be pretty usable. And look, the technical questions, if you have technical questions about it, we should probably just answer them in the next podcast. But the long and short of it is, if you measure enough jobs, there is repeatable and reliable ways of predicting how long these jobs should take. And we can calculate them in an algorithm, in a formula. It just took a long time to work out. So I guess I felt like I was being interviewed then, so I was waiting for you to ask the next question.
Yeah, I'm ready for the next one.
Well, Wilson and Evelyn, for you guys, we did bring up. I feel like we could have gotten this out like a month earlier if we just didn't have problems with Apple. Is that right?
Don't get Damien started on Apple. Or maybe do just for the entertainment. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I think we did have like quite a bit of issue with some Apple submission where we keep getting rejected. I think what most people don't know is as part of developing software, you also need to go through, as in particular, building app. You need to go through a review by Google and Apple, and it could take the first submission could take weeks because we keep getting rejected. But what also take quite a bit of time is we also want to make sure that we also take into consideration what we call bad day scenario. So things like because we did like what Phil mentioned, we did research and trying to empathize with gardeners. We think that gardeners might not have, this is one example, gardeners might not have internet access in certain area when they do work like in a remote area. So we need also try to build the app in a way so that it can still somewhat work when you don't have internet access. So that's one example. And also Wilson also put quite a bit of effort on making sure it is secure, it's performing well. So there's lots and lots of things that we have to consider. We did almost release I think a couple of months earlier as well. But if you remember when we start testing it with some contractors, we found, and also some feedback from users, we found that the experience to register and sign in was quite painful. So we decided to hold the release of quoting until we fix that issue. So that's why in the current release we have social sign-in. We also have the a remember password feature as part of this release. So that's just some example, but yeah, we do put in a lot of effort on things that people don't typically see.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know. I have worked on this in the best way I could have, having no knowledge of coding or anything. I still don't. I don't know how to do a single line of code, and I feel like compared to the average lawnmower guy, before we started working together, my knowledge would be way higher than most people. You know, and I didn't realize how much effort goes into building the, I guess what you would call, like, say, the foundation of the app, like the things you talk about, like the payment systems, and working with Android and Apple so that it functions on their system, and just how many times you guys just have to test it. So I'll throw this one to you, Wilson, but is this common that we just have no idea how difficult this stuff is, or just how time consuming this stuff is? And on the second question of that, how would you rate this app in terms of complications? Because people might think it's quite simple, but the background stuff, I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Oh, maybe I can answer some of this question. Yeah, I think in software development, it's usually like there are many things that can undergo different processes, and yeah, especially in the realms of like mobile apps and the rapid development of like technologies around, and things get changed, processed, especially like Apple, Google, they keep reviewing this their own processes as well. Like, so there are lots of kind of processes that we need to keep on updating, and I think that's one part of the things that also make it complex. But in terms of like the to get together and to make sure all the business process, we capture everything from people's pain point and getting it right, having test cases like beta testers and getting their feedback and reiterate back to some of the teams, the design, and security wise, we do testing, scalability as well. How do we see ourselves if we grow to a large number of users? How do we deal with that? So it's just the whole things to make it work. It's not simply just putting codes out there and then just release it without. Yeah. So this is a process that we go internally to make sure everything works, and yeah.
Yeah. If I can add to that, yeah, we talked a little bit about the process earlier, right? But from from an idea to exploring potential ways to solve that problem, to designing solutions and then picking one, and then to developing something, like you were saying, testing is huge, right? As soon as we develop any feature, we have to ensure that it works on an iPhone 16s with a large screen, and it works on an Android and on an iPhone S, and and then you implement something like something as simple as subscriptions, for example, for the user on the receiving end, that take their phone out and go and subscribe and done, walk in the park, right? No brainer.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, there's so much that happens. In particular, things like Amin was mentioning, all the worst case scenarios, all the left curves, all the unusual events. For example, yeah, well, what if I got a new phone, and then the subscriptions was attached to the previous one? Like, what happens if I lose my phone or something like that, or if I upgrade from a certain, and people are always going to, so we really try and break it, by the way. When we test it, the mindset is break it, and someone we really get mad when we actually missed something, as simple as, I don't know, like certain interactions. What happens if I don't do it, like don't use it as intended, and really try to break it? What if I try a password, of 137 characters? Is that going to work? What do we do? Because people might end up doing things that we don't expect, and we need to cater for it, and try and find a catch for every one of those scenarios. And if we don't, they'll pop back in our faces at some point, and we'll go, oh damn, okay, let's go back to the drawing board, and solve that problem. So yeah, it's
Yep.
a matter of work, and of testing
Yep.
and verifying, and then releasing, and then testing again, which we
That's
do,
right.
yeah, each
A
week.
lot and a lot of testing as well. So that's why I got Android phone, got iPhone, Phil got multiple phones, and then we also use simulators on our
Yeah.
laptop to test it on different version of iPhones and Androids. Yeah.
You guys are so famous already. You've already got burner phones, I was. There's so many little things that I'd love. I look, you'd love to have this perfect out of the gate, and by perfect I mean not perfect, but complete out of the gate. Because there's so many things we want to do. But one of the things that there's a couple of things as you're speaking, Phil, that are challenging. One is we were like, oh, we'd love to have like multiple tiers of pricing for different things one day. I didn't realize how difficult that was to set up. Like, you just feel like there should be a select button and change that. It's like, no, there's this and there's that and there's everything. And sharing a plan. Like, if you've got, this is one of the things, I'll try and explain how you can do it. Because at the moment, you can only have one user per subscription, but there's some sort of family plan or family thing that you can do, right?
On iOS, yeah.
On iOS. So if you're a husband and wife couple and you guys use the same account, we would love to at some point make it very easy for you to have, say, like 2 devices, a husband and wife couple, or you and your offsider. Sure, no worries. Then one day when you have a whole team, you got 10 people using the app. Okay, yeah, we'll increase the price and increase what you can do. You should be able to track how your employees are going and see how they quoted the job. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into that too. Like, we want to build that. But right now, we were like, let's just get it out. Let's just get it out, the basic function. But there's a lot of stuff coming. It just takes a hell of a lot of time. So the family stuff, tell me how that works. If someone downloads and like I said, husband-wife team, and you both want it on your phone, paying once.
Yeah, well, it's part of the sharing functionality in Apple. So app sharing, you can turn on family sharing, and that means several people can use the same app on the one account. So you don't only need to subscribe once or pay once, and then your dependents or partner can enjoy it.
Well, I reckon we can talk about this a lot, and I'm going to have you guys, whether it's of all 4 of us or whether it's just 1 or 2 of us, but we'll have you guys on regularly for short podcasts when we have updates, let people know how it's going. Also, at the very minimum, I will be at BJ's Lawn and Land Equip Expo in August. If everybody listening to this signs up right now, we will all be there. And you can come and chat with us. We'll make it happen. Obviously, we've got to fly over, and so that's not cheap. But anyway, we're going to. You can meet up with us. You can talk questions. We have an Instagram page, but what I really want you to join is the Facebook group. We don't have a Facebook page. I don't really necessarily want to do a Facebook page because I love the idea of a group, because we want your feedback. We want your ideas, and we want you to feel like, I genuinely mean this, I want you to feel like your ideas are being heard, or that it feels like it's a collaborative thing, because we won't have all the good ideas. And if somebody comes up with something like, I'd love the app to do this, we'll be like, yes, that's exactly what I want to hear. Or this part of the app is frustrating. Can we make it a little more? Yes, we want to make it more efficient. Like, that's the stuff we want to hear. And so if you've got ideas, I'll put all the links in there, how to download it, how to join that group. We're all active in that group. So we're all seeing everything that's posted. It's already 100 people in that group as of today, which is awesome. So anything else that we should talk about before we head off? Don't think so.
I don't know. What do you have? Any thoughts?
Emlyn, what about you?
Not sure. It's been really fun. Yep, I think.
It's been really fun. Long may it continue. I guess the last thing is just download this. People, go download it. Even if you feel like you wouldn't, you just do it for Emlyn. She's having a lot of fun. Long may the fun continue. Anyways, on that note, what a great way! That's a great way to finish. Amela was really nervous. She was going to embarrass herself at something. She almost made it. She almost made it through the whole podcast without embarrassing herself at some point.
Now I'm blushing.
That's probably my fault for throwing you under the bus. But people, go download it. I hope you realise that we put a lot of effort into it. We've had a great team, a team of Australians, even though all the accents are different. We wanted this to be a long-term thing. We hope it helps you make a lot of money. That's the goal. And jump on the groups, download the app, and hopefully we'll see you live in person. And we may have a live event here in Perth as well, at the warehouse at some stage. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Thank you, everybody, for coming on.
Thanks, Luke. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And everybody else, we will see you in the next podcast.